Andrei Chikatilo grew up in the impoverished and famine-riddled Ukraine at the height of the Soviet Union's dominance over the region. With his father away at war, Chikatilo lived with his abusive mom and grew up witnessing the atrocities of war and the pain and suffering caused by starvation. Today, we'll discuss Chikatilo's upbringing and how it may have led to his sexual shortcomings and his violent, sexually motivated crimes. We'll also look at his early murders and the start of the massive investigation to catch this ruthless serial killer. I'm Mike.
I'm Ian.
And I'm Dave. If any episode lends itself to a Blue Chew ad, stick around. A little blue pill could have completely altered this flaccid fable. Psst, Blue Chew, we don't really charge that much. Hit us up. This is Necronomipod.
From the standpoint, when you're dealing with a sexual sadist, is that they will inflict either psychological or physical pain on the victim. Not because they enjoy inflicting the pain, but they enjoy the suffering that the victim is going through. And so when you look at this type of an individual, the question always comes up as to whether or not it's genetics that create these monsters, or whether or not it's the environment that creates these monsters. And of course, as a sexual sadist, no matter how compliant you are with his demands, he's never going to be satisfied with it. And so the punishment is going to continue and continue and continue.
So, do you guys believe in any conspiracy theories? And if so, what's the wildest one you believe in? I'm going to sit here and drink my beer and listen.
Let's see, what constitutes a conspiracy theory? So
I think that's up for interpretation too.
I don't believe Oswald acted alone when he killed Kennedy.
I 100% agree, and that would be my wildest answer. I'm not a conspiracy guy. I do believe that the Kennedy assassination in itself is a bit of a conspiracy theory with when you think about all the different other possibilities. And so that is my wildest because I don't believe in a lot of else. Yeah. I don't think Oswald acted alone. And so that I would say is the wildest conspiracy theory I believe in.
The forensic stuff I looked at with the magic bullet and all that, I don't believe is physically possible.
Right. Also, just the accuracy of his shooting would have been ridiculous. Yeah. And I know there's still questions as to what his marks were when he was in the military, serving, and he was like a marksman and did his shooting. There's still questions as to what his grades and score actually was,
and the timing necessary to get off those shots, and
right.
None
Plus
of it added up.
The FBI's intimidation of the witnesses who said they heard sounds in the grassy knoll. They were intimidated to change their stories.
Yeah, I agree.
So that would be the wildest, I think, that I believe. You're on the same page as me, Dave? So, but you believe, in Bigfoot. Would you consider that a conspiracy?
No. I believe it's just something we haven't figured out yet. I believe in Bigfoot and the Yeti, for sure.
Okay.
I don't consider it a conspiracy.
No conspiracy to cover it up?
No, I don't think so. I just think it's unproven science.
Okay. You do believe in the moon landing, as we discussed on a bonus show with Ed from Pod Van Dam.
I do believe in the moon landing, and people that don't believe in the moon landings, they're in the flat earther category.
Wow. God damn.
They are.
All right. So you're kind of with me on the Kennedy front would be the biggest.
Yeah, I don't.
Do you think John Wilkes Booth shot Abraham Lincoln? And did he act alone?
I believe he shot Lincoln.
He murdered Lincoln.
Do some people say that
I just made that up. Oh. I just made that up. No, I don't.
There was a big conspiracy with that, with all the planning that went in, and the co-conspirators and all that.
Sure, as you can outline in or watch in the movie National Treasure as well.
Well, yeah, that's all historical accurate.
No, I'm just saying that's what they played up the whole first movie based on that.
I
think there's plenty behind John Wilkes Booth as well.
Oh,
but he was the only one who fired a shot.
Well, sure.
Yeah. Which was my joke or comment. There's no one else that shot Lincoln.
Oh, did I step on your joke? I'm
no,
sorry.
No. You just had too many questions, Dave. You were too inquisitive about what I said.
I get like that. I don't believe that Jesus ever existed.
Whoa.
Is that a conspiracy?
Oh, dropping bombs over here.
It's my personal opinion.
I don't think atheism is a conspiracy theory, though.
I'm just saying a lot of the Western world is built on this story of Christianity. I believe it was all made up. I don't believe that was an actual historical person. I believe it was a composite of
That's interesting.
Whatever.
Is that a conspiracy theory?
I don't know.
I think
Christianity is a conspiracy, yeah.
Well, they might say you're a conspiracy.
Oh.
Hey, Interesting.
I don't believe there's any historical record to justify that person existing.
Because some people will say that, yes, there was a person named Jesus that existed, but he might not have just been the savior or whatever.
I don't believe that's true.
Okay.
That's my personal conspiracy
All right,
theory.
Ian, you got to top all that.
So I believe
This is where Ian comes out as he's a flat earther.
It's like, fuck you guys, I infiltrated your organization here. I'm a flat earther, busted.
I think the U.S. government, probably more world governments, know about UFOs and like aliens and stuff, but I don't think like stuff, some of those things like Roswell, where they say that like an alive alien was recovered and they took it to Wright-Patterson and all that kind of stuff. I don't believe in any of that stuff. I do think that there have been some crashes. I think there's more than enough evidence that they are aware of something. They're just not going to admit to something that they don't understand themselves. I don't think we know anything about it. Like, I don't think the government has the slightest clue as to what UFOs actually are or anything like that.
How could an alien or a species or a being, though, even like be in a weather balloon? Alien or Ian?
It's.
I mean, you don't fit in a weather balloon. That's just not going to happen.
It's an age-old question.
So you think they're aware that this took place, but the fact that if they released it and they couldn't fully explain it, you think it would make them look weak, so they choose to hide it from the general public?
Yeah.
I actually, and maybe this changes what my wildest is. I agree with Ian. I think the government knows a ton more about UFOs and aliens and, extraterrestrials and life outside of our planet than they let us know, because they don't want to induce panic. They want to study it more. I 100% believe that.
I think it's possible, but I go back to the same theory, like when people do the 9/11 theories and all that. It's too big of a thing where one person wouldn't eventually be able to provide some concrete proof. Like it's hard to cover up something
maybe
that
so
on that big of
but
a
I don't
scale
know if a
with
ton of
so
people
many
know
people.
about it.
You don't think
though.
so?
I don't know. I mean, I'm sure enough people know that you could make the argument for that. Sure.
Yeah.
The 9/11 one, I think, just ridiculous. Also, but
I find it hard to believe you can do something on that large of a scale without someone eventually.
But then maybe some of this stuff is, there was that one caller on Art Bell who said he worked at Area 51.
That guy was never heard from again. He was very right.
We laugh at those people, but then maybe that's the people that are talking.
Maybe it is.
Was that on the first Art Bell?
Yeah.
In the archives, go back. That was a good one.
I feel like there's more than enough, especially recently in the past 3 years, I'd say, credible people coming out and saying that, yeah, we know what it is, but we don't, or we know that it's there, but we don't know what it is. Like Harry Reid's really involved in it.
Yeah.
All those Navy guys with the videos that Tom DeLonge released.
I agree.
I think that's my biggest thing that I like really truly believe is that they don't know what it is, so they're not gonna put like a stamp on it.
Well, I'm looking forward to that new movie Phenomenon coming out here in a couple. I think it comes out in October.
Is it a documentary or an actual movie?
And a documentary to explore a lot of that stuff over like the past 70-year history of aliens. So it looks really interesting.
Yeah, they have Harry Reid's on there. They have some astronauts on there.
Yeah, like important people, like the Undersecretary of Homeland Security, like somebody big up. Was it Secretary of State, Homeland Security?
I've not even heard of this.
Hey, watch the trailer. It's pretty cool.
When's it come out?
I think in October, I want to say. I think it got delayed because of COVID, like everything else. But so I think they're doing, VOD release.
Yeah, I think I agree with Ian. I think there is a lot that's covered up there that we don't know about.
I don't disagree with that.
So maybe that's the wild. That's crazier than Kennedy, right, Dave? I would say that's probably bigger than the Kennedy one.
I don't know. If the government was involved in assassinating a U.S. president, that's pretty big.
Well, I didn't say the government was involved. I just said there's somebody else involved.
Yeah. Potentially.
But what I meant, because my question was the wildest. I'm willing to bet there's
Yeah.
more people that believe in the Kennedy assassination that believe in the Ian alien theory of, the government knows more.
I agree with that. That's a wilder
would-
story, sure.
I would almost say probably, if you polled people who knew about the Kennedy assassination, would you say the majority of people think that there's more to it than what we know?
It's probably half and half.
That would accept the findings of the Warren Commission? You think it's half and half?
Probably.
People who knew the story? I would almost say
don't know.
I would almost say more people don't believe it or believe that there's more to it.
I bet 40% of people in this country don't even know who JFK is.
That's why I said
So
people who know the story.
We're approaching idiocracy land.
Us
in this
educated
country at
folk
this point.
who made it past 7th grade, who know who JFK is and who know the assassination. Anyways, we're not going to do a JFK story, so don't get your hopes up, folks. It's not going to happen.
Yeah, aliens would be it for me. I generally don't believe in conspiracy theories, like the whole 9/11 thing or any of that. I generally do not buy into any of that kind of stuff.
Okay. You know what wasn't a conspiracy theory? The life of Andrei Chikatilo. Chikatilo.
Oh, boy.
So we're having our fun now because we're about to get real dark real quick.
This is it's quite a story.
Yeah. I had never heard of this guy, naturally.
Naturally.
Never heard of, fucking Jeffrey Dahmer either till we did him.
That's true.
That's not true. I've heard of him. That was as far as that went. But this is a wild story. And it's like it's pieces of every other serial killer we've ever covered kind of mixed into this one.
Yeah.
I wonder how many people that listen to our show actually know him too, because he was, he's not American.
I bet a lot of them.
You think so?
Yeah.
You think they know him?
They all
He's
know
a
more
heavy
than you,
hitter.
buddy. Yeah, he's
Yeah,
a
but-
big story.
Yeah, I don't know. But but are there a lot of crime shows that like cover guys like this? Like if you're watching fucking Discovery Channel or something, like are they doing Andrei Chikatilo shows? That's what I mean. Like he's not mainstream serial killer, and his story is fucking wild.
The hardcore true crime fans, I'm sure.
4% of the people that listen to this show.
I'm sure everybody that listens to this show knows who Andrei Chikatilo
Yeah, I'm
is.
just trying to make you feel better, pal. Everyone knows who this guy is.
I would like to take a poll. I have legitimately never heard of this human being until we discussed him today.
Yeah, we know. We get it.
You didn't know that Jeffrey Dahmer was murdered in jail until you read the outline.
But I guarantee you, the average everyday person doesn't fucking know that.
Well,
It's just you true
that Jeffrey
crime.
Dahmer's not alive?
Yeah, it's just you true crime fucks that know that. Like the average person doesn't give a shit.
I'm
or
not
know.
even a true crime person. I know
A
all
little
this
bit
stuff.
you are.
A little bit.
Little
but-
bit. The average person does not even know who Jeffrey Dahmer is, other than just his name.
Yeah.
I would die on that cross.
That's true.
I would die on that
You'll
cross.
die on it.
Yeah.
Pick another
I don't think
cross,
people
pal.
aren't walking around just knowing all these serial killers like you guys do.
Not sure that's true.
They might know who they are. They don't know what the fuck they did. Which goes more so for this fucking, Ukrainian guy who no one's ever heard of till now.
Okay.
We are literally the first people to ever cover him.
Andrei Chikatilo was born October 16th, 1936, in a small village in the Ukrainian SSR. At the time of his birth, Ukraine was in the middle of a famine caused by Joseph Stalin's forced collectivization of agriculture. Chikatilo's parents were both collective farm laborers who lived in a one-room hut. They received no wages for their work, but instead received the right to cultivate a plot of land behind the family hut. The family rarely had enough food. Chikatilo himself later claimed to not have eaten bread until the age of 12, adding that he and his family often had to eat grass and leaves in an effort not to starve.
Doesn't sound great.
No.
So, and I'm going to say something here. In this country, people who have never read a book believe that, giving everyone in the country health care is communism. But this, this forced collectivization of farms is an actual example of, like one of the great perils of communism and what can result from it. Actual, real communism.
This has been Dave's TED Talk.
A lesson from Dave.
Just wanna throw that- like,
The
that
more you know.
like that Ukrainian famine was horrific. So
12 years old, he had bread, finally.
just to get a sense of where he's coming from and where he was born and stuff. But
Imagine having to go out to your yard, you grab grass and leaves, bring them into the house to boil them up and cook them, and that's what you're eating for dinner.
It was awful. It was a couple years. I think it was like 32, 33, so it was just on the other side of the famine at this point. But yeah, that's a real thing of, communism, not making sure people have health care like you'll hear in this country.
Boom.
Throughout his childhood, Chikatilo was reportedly told by his mother Anna that prior to his birth, an older brother of his named Stefan had at age 4 been kidnapped and cannibalized by starving neighbors. Although it has never been proved as to whether this incident actually occurred or if Stefan Chikatilo even existed.
I like Jesus.
Regardless, Chikatilo recalled his childhood as being plagued by poverty, ridicule, hunger, and war.
Look, young man, the neighbors ate your brother, and if you don't behave yourself, we're
That's
going
a
to send
weird
you over
thing
there
to-
too.
Is John Wayne here?
do you guys remember? I mean, I'm dipping into a Patreon bonus episode here, but the listener who grew up in the Ukraine that called and told us about the cannibal story over there, where somebody was cooking humans and feeding it to him, and he had eaten some human meat.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
was one of our Patreon call-in shows.
Damn. So
I
what-
wonder, was that actually a thing back during this famine?
Well, I think almost kind of like what we talked about last week at the Donner Party, right? When you're starving and it's, you're trying just to survive or feed your family, you do anything it takes.
Oh, I think there was
Right.
lots of cannibalism
Yeah.
going on during the Ukrainian famine. Lots of reports of that.
Okay. I don't know much about the Ukrainian famine and stuff.
As Kevin says in The Office, it's only human natural.
When the Soviet Union entered the Second World War, Chikatilo's father, Roman, was sent into the Red Army. He would later be taken prisoner after being wounded in combat. Between 1941 and 1944, Chikatilo witnessed some of the effects of the Nazi occupation of Ukraine, which he described as, quote, horrors, adding he witnessed bombings, fires, and shootings from which he and his mother would hide in cellars and ditches. On one occasion, Chikatilo and his mother were forced to watch their own hut burn to the ground. With his father at war, Chikatilo and his mother shared a single bed. He was a chronic bedwetter, and his mother berated and beat him each time he did it.
Oh,
That's probably healthy.
well, he's
That's-
peeing on her back. I'm sure she's not happy, but still.
I'm going to beat the kid. Jesus.
It's like our pal Gary Ridgway did that until he was 13, and his mom
right,
used to beat his ass and make him wash, and she would wash him down until he was 13 and scream at him and beat his ass for doing that.
That shit'll fuck you up as a young man permanently.
Wasn't that also one of the theories with John Bonet, too? She was a bedwetter, and so that mom got upset and, beat her head against, the sink in the bathroom?
Yeah.
Fuck her.
Fuck who?
The mom. Even though she's not, even though she didn't do it.
I thought you didn't like bedwetters there for a second.
No. When you wet the bed, it happens. Come on. You got to have patience with that shit. I still wet the bed when I have a couple cocktails. I don't really drink, though, so.
I've wet the floor before after I've had some cocktails.
I've actually not wet the bed in my adult life. That is one thing I have not done. I've puked the bed. I have not wet the bed.
I did that one time. I pissed myself while I was sleeping when I got super drunk.
Goddamn, pal.
What's
Not our best moments.
no, not King Cobra. What's the other 40 that's
Magnum?
real? No.
What's your thing? Steel Reserve?
No, I
Yeah,
used to
Steel
I used to do
Reserve.
King
Steel
Cobra.
Reserve.
I didn't drink Steel Reserve. That shit was nasty. King Cobra was, for kings with cobras in their pants like me.
There was one time in high school I drank a shit ton of Steel Reserves, and yeah, I pissed myself. I was blackout drunk off that shit.
Steel Reserve, I could not even drink. I thought that was the most disgusting of those malt liquors. Gross. King Cobra, I used to not hate.
I was living a life back in high school, man. Steel Reserve and Beast Ice.
Well, who am I to judge? I fucking did power hours with King Cobra, so.
Oh my God.
Meanwhile, Dave's drinking Wild Irish Rose and smoking doobies outside.
Doobies.
Doobies. In 1943, Chikatilo's mother gave birth to a baby girl, Tatiana. Because Chikatilo's father had been in military service in 1941, he could not have fathered the child. As many Ukrainian women were raped by German soldiers during the war, it has been speculated Tatiana was conceived as the result of rape committed by a German soldier. As Chikatilo and his mother lived in a one-room hut, this rape may have been witnessed by Chikatilo.
All right, guys. Guy's gone through a lot already.
He really has.
In September 1944, Chikatilo began his schooling. Although shy and very studious as a child, he was physically weak and regularly attended school in homespun clothing, and by 1946, with his stomach swollen from hunger resulting from post-war famine. On several occasions, this hunger caused Chikatilo to faint both at home and at school, and he was consistently targeted by bullies who regularly mocked him over his physical looks and timid nature. At home, Chikatilo and his sister were constantly berated by their mother. Tatiana later recalled that in spite of the hardships endured by her parents, their father was a kind man, whereas their mother was harsh and unforgiving towards the children.
Feel really bad for this guy at this point.
So far, yeah, right?
This is tough.
I feel like every serial killer story, it's like you feel bad
A
until
lot of them. Yeah.
it takes a massive turn.
Well, yeah. And also, I have a pic of myself in a delightful homespun denim suit that my mom made for me when I was a young man.
We'll be posting that as soon as Dave will get that to
Fucking
us.
balling in that suit.
We'll need that photo ASAP.
Chikatilo developed a passion for reading and memorizing data, and often studied at home both to increase his sense of self-worth and to compensate for his very poor eyesight, which often prevented him from reading the classroom blackboard. To his teachers, Chikatilo was an excellent student whom they regularly praised. By his teens, Chikatilo was both a model student and an ardent communist. He was appointed editor of his school newspaper at age 14 and chairman of the People's Communist Party Committee 2 years later. An avid reader of communist literature, he was also delegated the task of organizing street marches. Although Chikatilo claimed learning did not come easy to him due to headaches and poor memory, he was the only student from his collective farm to complete the final year of study, graduating with excellent grades in 1954.
All right, so that's an accomplishment.
What about these headaches? What was there to make of that? Anything or?
Actually, I was reading a little bit on him. They said he was born with that water on the brain thing, which may have had a effect on him.
I didn't know if it was that or like something due to like starvation or, just.
It can't help, right?
Sure it doesn't.
You're supposed to fatten your fucking brain up as a little person.
This guy didn't have bread to lose 12.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's not great for your growing young man and his brain.
Yeah, I just didn't know if there was something else to that headache thing, if there was like abuse or some kind of, health issue.
On the onset of puberty, Chikatilo discovered that he suffered from chronic impotence, worsening his social awkwardness and self-hatred. He was shy in the company of women. His first crush at age 17 had been on a girl named Lilia Beresheva, with whom he had become acquainted through the school newspaper. Yet he was extremely nervous around her and never asked her out for a date. That same year, Chikatilo jumped on an 11-year-old friend of his younger sister and wrestled her to the ground, ejaculating in his pants as the girl struggled against him.
Oh, boy. Here we go.
So, first red flag there.
Yeah. Just like our friend Peter Curtin with the involuntary orgasm.
Yeah, that guy, all he needed to see was a drop of blood, and he would start.
He was like, He was done for. And also this poor guy with the chronic impotence. I mean, usually it's chronic boners at that age. That'll fuck your day up, man. Holy shit.
It's true. Yeah, usually you can't get rid of the damn thing.
I really feel sorry for this guy so far.
Well, for now.
Yeah.
Well,
Following his graduation, Chikatilo applied for a scholarship at Moscow State University. Although he passed the entrance exam with good to excellent scores, his grades were not deemed good enough for acceptance. Chikatilo thought his scholarship application was rejected due to his father's tainted war record. His father had been branded a traitor for being taken prisoner in 1943. But the truth of it was that the other students had performed better than him in the exam.
well, that'll make sense.
He did not attempt to enroll at another university. Instead, he traveled to the city of Kursk, where he worked as a laborer for 3 months before in 1955 enrolling at a vocational school with the aim of becoming a communications technician. The same year, Chikatilo formed his first serious relationship with a local girl 2 years younger than him. On 3 separate occasions, the couple attempted to have sex, although on each occasion, Chikatilo was unable to keep an erection. After 18 months, she broke off the relationship.
Oh, man. Flaccid fucking, no, it just doesn't work.
Just can't.
It doesn't work.
Can't happen.
It's in pre-Viagra, Blue Chew era.
Of course. Well, back, communist days, they would have been cutting those up and you each get like, an eighth of a pill or something, right?
To $200 a piece.
He was poor. They were at the bottom of the list. He ain't getting any of those.
It's sad.
Upon completion of his 2-year vocational training, Chikatilo relocated to the Ural city of Nizhny Tagil to work on a long-term construction project. While living there, he also undertook correspondence courses in engineering with the Moscow Electrotechnical Institute of Communication. He worked in the Urals for 2 years until he was drafted into the Soviet Army in 1957.
Well, good for him. At least he's trying to better himself. I would be sitting in my room looking at my broken penis 24 hours a day, feeling sorry for myself.
What can you do? You just look at it. It's something you can't do anything with it. Smack it around, let it dangle there. That's about it.
I think I would kill my motivation to do anything, right?
Dead dick syndrome. Happens to the worst of us.
Would you say dead dick syndrome?
Yeah. DDS.
TDS.
Chikatilo performed his military service between 1957 and 1960, assigned first to serve with border guards in Central Asia, then to a KGB communications unit in Berlin. Here, his work record was perfect, and he joined the Communist Party in 1960, shortly before his military service ended.
I'll tell you what, 1960 in Berlin, that was probably interesting.
Fun times.
A lot going on over there.
Upon completing his service, Chikatilo returned to his native village to live with his parents. He soon became acquainted with a young divorcee. Their 3-month relationship ended after several unsuccessful attempts at having sex, after which the woman innocently asked her friends for advice as to how Chikatilo might overcome his inability to get an erection.
That wasn't smart.
No.
Ladies, don't do
Damn.
that. You just hush on that.
Yeah, because word spread about this, and as a result, most of his peers discovered that he couldn't keep it up. In a 1993 interview regarding this incident, Chikatilo stated, quote, "The girls were going behind my back, whispering that I was impotent. I was so ashamed. I tried to hang myself. My mother and some young neighbors pulled me out of the noose. Well, I thought no one would want such a shamed man. So I had to run away from there, away from my homeland."
Oh, that's so sad.
A DDS will get you. Of course, the woman had to go on tweeting and Facebooking and YouTubing about it. Got him in all kinds of trouble. Just a quick little mention here. If your guy's got limp dick syndrome, you don't need to go talking about it to other people. Maybe with him, consult your doctor. Don't tell your friends.
That's solid advice.
Of course it is. And the guy should have his attorney present if you're going to be talking about his limp dick. Well, grounds of divorce your ass if you say something out of line about his dangle.
After several months, Chikatilo found a job as a communications engineer in a town located north of Rostov-on-Don. He relocated to the Russian SFSR in 1961, renting a small apartment close to his workspace. That same year, his younger sister Tatiana finished her schooling and moved into his apartment. His parents would relocate to the Rostov region shortly thereafter. Tatiana lived with her brother for 6 months before marrying a local man and moving into her in-laws' home. She noted nothing odd with regard to her brother's lifestyle beyond his extreme shyness around women and tried to help him find a wife and start a family. In 1963, Chikatilo married a woman named Feodosia Odnocheva, to whom he had been introduced by his younger sister. According to Chikatilo, although he was attracted to her, his marriage was effectively an arranged one, which occurred barely 2 weeks after they had met, in which the decisive roles were played by his sister and her husband.
Look, my brother's a great catch. He can't get a boner, but he's a good provider. What do you think?
Doesn't sound ideal for either of them. Arranged marriages rarely work, Dave. I've done research on this.
Have you?
Yeah, I don't think they're good for people. Just to be partnered up with someone and say you must marry them.
Kind of interesting, I guess.
Isn't there a show like a 30-day fiance or 90-day fiance show on TV? I've never seen it. I just know like the premise of it, and
sounds horrible.
Yeah.
I feel like I've seen commercials for a show called like Married at First Sight or something. Where
Maybe
they
that's
just
it.
fucking
Yeah.
pair two people up and they get married right away, and it
Because
goes
that
off the
of
rails.
course ends always happy.
Like if they go to a Vegas chapel the first day they meet, that kind of thing.
Yeah, like
Yeah,
they
if
throw,
it's the first
like a
day you're
reality
meeting,
thing.
sure. Yeah. That's not to say Vegas chapels aren't great.
No.
But if it's the first day you're meeting, yeah, it's not great. Let the booze wear off first. Because one of those two is going to regret it in the morning.
Maybe not. Maybe you do that 8-ball and you go get married and maybe you live happily ever after.
There you go. Maybe so. Who are we to say? Maybe so. Love is love.
Love is love, Mike. You're
And
right.
as long as you have Jesus, you can't go wrong. Right, Dave?
Well, I don't think that's true.
Chikatilo later claimed that his marital sex life was minimal, and that after his wife understood he was unable to keep an erection, they agreed she would conceive by him ejaculating into his hand and pushing semen inside her vagina with his fingers. In 1965, his wife gave birth to a daughter, Ludmila. 4 years later, in 1969, they had a son named Yuri. I like that name, Ludmila.
Are we just going to ignore the part where like he gets her pregnant with his fingers? Like we're not gonna.
Isn't that how everyone does it?
We're not. I mean, that's just.
That's just how it works.
You know
what
what?
do you mean?
That's fine. Let's just move on. We'll move on.
I don't know. It doesn't seem out of the ordinary to me.
Okay.
Sounds like a sexy date. I would love to push my semen into your vagina.
Like that's just okay. You're not attractive. I'm gonna jerk off into my hand and then force this into you. That's sexy. She's like, ooh, baby, can't wait.
I didn't realize that was possible like that.
I actually didn't either, but I mean, I guess it makes sense.
Why not, I guess,
Gotta get it
right?
up in there far enough, right?
Yeah.
So for it to like, get sucked in or whatever happens in there. No one knows. I feel like there's like a UFO. It like sucks it up and then it spreads it around in the eggs and that's it, right?
No one knows.
This has been Biology by Mike. Join us next time.
From Dumb and Dumber, tractor beam. Sucked me right in.
Chikatilo chose to enroll as a correspondence student at Rostov University in 1964, studying Russian literature and philosophy. He obtained his degree in these subjects in 1970. Shortly before obtaining his degree, Chikatilo obtained a job managing regional sports activities. He remained in this position for 1 year before beginning his career as a teacher of Russian language and literature. Chikatilo was largely ineffective as a teacher. Although knowledgeable in the subjects he taught, he was unable to maintain discipline in his classes and was regularly subjected to mockery by his students, who he claimed took advantage of his modest nature.
He's one of those teachers, as soon as he turns around to write on the blackboard, people are throwing shit at him.
Spitballs. And
Busting tomatoes on the blackboard.
this poor guy hasn't caught a break his entire life to this point.
Not at all.
He's about to make his own breaks.
He's got a jizz in his hand, impregnate his wife.
That is still the wildest fucking thing I've ever heard in my life. Like he's balancing it in his palm. He's like, wait, open up. He's got to like get it on the tip of his fingers and shove it in. Like, come, what does that even look like? Like,
Why not use a turkey baster? Am I right?
but why? Yeah, why not?
Why not?
Come into that and then boom.
See?
Then you can even get it right up in there and then let the UFOs in there take it away.
Absolutely.
I don't know what goes on down there. It's like a fucking different solar system.
Biology by Mike. Available on
Spin-off show, 8 episodes, Biology by Mike. We'll explore every bit of science.
the vagina's connected to the cervix connected to the...
I have thoughts on the cervix as well, Dave. Talking about a fucking
have
government.
thoughts.
Talking about a government conspiracy. You take that in your labia, and I'll fucking show you the 5th shooter in the Kennedy assassination.
In May 1973, Chikatilo committed his first known sexual assault on one of his students. In this incident, he swam towards a 15-year-old girl and groped her breast and genitals, ejaculating as the girl struggled against him.
What a creep.
Marco Polo.
Yikes.
Months later, Chikatilo sexually assaulted another teenage girl whom he had locked in his classroom. He was not disciplined for either of these incidents, nor for the occasions in which fellow teachers observed Chikatilo fondling himself in the presence of students.
What?
How does
fuck
nobody
is
speak
this?
up? Like,
Okay, so here's how this works from what I was reading. Under like the communist kind of rules, if one person gets in trouble, the whole school gets in trouble.
Yeah, okay.
So if they reported that, then everybody in the school, every employee of the school gets punished. So he went nobody turned him in for any of this shit.
Yeah,
So it's like, no,
okay.
we're not all getting in trouble for this. And they kind of bounced him around to other schools, almost like a Catholic priest thing, how they bounced the priests around to
Whoa,
different.
careful there, Pally.
Oh, I
What
know
do you
all
mean?
about
They do
that.
that.
They,
just kidding.
they bounced them all
kidding.
to my school. I know all about that. Every one of them. Yeah, that's exactly what they did.
So, but that's what they did here, and it was because of the communist rules of like
that makes
the
sense.
whole establishment would get in trouble.
Interesting.
Kind of
Wow.
get people to self-regulate themselves and enforce stuff internally. Interesting.
But yeah, and how do you even go about doing that? Like, what are you gonna do if you're all the other teachers? You just gonna beat
gotta
this
beat his
guy?
ass,
Like,
right?
But
Well, that's
Yeah.
what that leads to, sure.
yeah, that leads to a healthy, environment and community.
But with him, they just did like what they do with Catholic priests, and they just sent him to different schools.
Yeah, see ya. See ya. He'll do better over there.
But that's only because, management was made aware of it. They wanted them to just beat his ass and make it, handle it themselves. Oh, now you made this our
Right.
problem. We'll have to send him away.
Yep.
One of Chikatilo's duties at this school was ensuring his students who boarded at the school were present in their dormitories in the evenings. On several occasions, he is known to have entered the girls' dormitory in hopes of seeing them undressed.
What a creep, man. He's out of control at this point already.
In response to the increasing number of complaints against him by his students, the director of the school called Chikatilo to a formal meeting and informed him he should resign voluntarily or be fired. Chikatilo left his employment discreetly and found another job as a teacher at another school in the same area in January of 1974. He lost this job as the result of staff cutbacks in September of 1978 before finding another teaching position in a coal mining town close to Rostov-on-Don.
Well done with that name, Ian. Good job.
Chikatilo's career as a teacher ended in March of 1981 following several complaints of child molestation against pupils of both sexes.
Oh, it only took 7 years. Okay.
Yeah. The same month, he began a job as a supply clerk for a factory based in Rostov, which produced construction materials. This job required Chikatilo to travel extensively across much of the Soviet Union to either physically purchase the raw materials required to fulfill production quotas or to negotiate supply contracts. In September of 1978, Chikatilo moved to Shakhty, where he committed his first documented murder. On December 22nd, Chikatilo lured a 9-year-old girl named Yelena Zakhanova to an old house which he had secretly purchased. He attempted to rape her but failed to get an erection. When the girl struggled, he choked her and stabbed her 3 times in the abdomen, ejaculating while stabbing the child. In an interview after his 1990 arrest, Chikatilo later recalled that immediately after stabbing her, the girl had, quote, said something very hoarsely. Then he strangled her into unconsciousness before throwing her body into a nearby river, and her body was found 2 days later.
It's just like Peter Curtin, man.
It's very similar.
Yeah. That's so bizarre. Also, how do you secretly purchase a house? It's like Ricky's party house on Ballers.
Well, yeah, I think so. I mean, yeah, I guess. I mean, you can probably do that. I mean, I'd probably secret from like his family, right? Like,
I guess that's what it meant.
yeah, he probably pulled
Wild.
it off.
Right?
I want a secret party house.
Do you?
Yeah. I mean, I'll just go by myself and just
Read.
look at pictures of Casey Anthony and drink beer and eat Blue Chew like it's fucking Skittles. I mean, what else? What do you do in your party house?
I actually
fucking
have
judge me.
Casey Anthony come to the house. Come to the party house.
Well, we're not all as famous and rich as you, Dave.
Numerous pieces of evidence linked Chikatilo to the girl's murder. Spots of blood had been found in the snow near the house that Chikatilo had purchased. Neighbors had noted that Chikatilo had been present in the house on the evening of December 22nd. The girl's school backpack had been found on the opposite bank of the river at the end of the street, indicating the girl had been thrown into the river at this location. And a witness had given police a detailed description of a man closely resembling Chikatilo, who he had seen walking with the girl at the bus stop where she had last been seen alive.
So they picked him up and convicted him, and that was the end of the story. And he never hurt anyone again, right?
We'll see you guys next week.
Great story. This is police work actually working.
We should do one time. We should do an episode where like the guy just gets caught real quick, and like the story is like 20 minutes, and that's it. And then we'll bullshit for like another hour just to give people a full show. But then that'll just be it.
That's funny.
We should do that.
Well, despite all of these facts, a 25-year-old laborer named Alexander Kravchenko, who had previously served a prison sentence for the rape and murder of a teenage girl, was arrested for the crime. A search of Kravchenko's home revealed spots of blood on his wife's jacket. The blood type was determined to match both the girl and Kravchenko's wife.
Okay, first off, how is a 25-year-old free after previously serving prison sentence for the rape and murder of a teenage girl?
Yeah, I don't know what's going on
What the
over
fuck
there.
is that?
It's no holds barred. No holds barred.
It is who you know during that time. I mean, Chikatilo was a member of the party, so he obviously got preferential treatment, and they looked to this guy instead and looked right past him.
That's going to be a theme with a lot of the investigation with all of Chikatilo's murders, is that, yeah, he was a part of the Communist Party, and he had no criminal record, really. You know, like he was never turned in for any of those sexual assaults on minors. And the investigation by the police was, they just looked at people that had previous records.
Yeah, right. You can hide in plain sight.
The Communist Party thing really helped him a lot.
Oh, without a doubt. Well, and evidentiary standards in the Soviet Union being what they were, you know, something tells me this Alexander fellow's not exactly going to get a fair trial. I'm guessing.
Kravchenko had a good alibi for the afternoon of December 22nd, 1978. He had been at home with his wife and a friend of hers the entire afternoon, and the neighbors of the couple were able to verify this. Nonetheless, the police, having threatened Kravchenko's wife with being an accomplice to murder and her friend with perjury, obtained news statements in which the women claimed Kravchenko had not returned home until late in the evening on the day of the murder.
Damn. If he was in this country, the wife couldn't be forced to testify against him, right?
Is that how that works?
I think so. Isn't that a real thing? You can't be forced to testify against your spouse? Or am I imagining that?
I don't know. I don't know.
We're going to get our attorney on the phone here at halftime.
Hello, this is the Necronomicon attorney. That is true. Okay, bye.
I thought so.
Dave, you were right.
Yeah, thanks. What's he going to bill us for that call?
Well, it'd be at least $300, but, you know, the patrons take care of that.
Confronted with these altered testimonies, Kravchenko confessed to the killing, and he was tried for the murder in 1979. At his trial, Kravchenko retracted his confession and maintained his innocence, stating his confession had been obtained under extreme duress. Despite his retraction, Kravchenko was convicted of the murder and sentenced to death. This death sentence was commuted to 15 years in prison, which was the maximum possible length of imprisonment at the time, by the Supreme Court in December of 1980. Under pressure from the victim's relatives, Kravchenko was retried, erroneously convicted, and eventually executed by a firing squad for the girl's murder in July of 1983.
Jesus Christ. So
Which
the
that's
Supreme
sometime-
Court was like, you didn't get this right. Do it again.
That's the interesting thing I was reading about, like the Russian court systems. I don't know if it's still like this, but at least back then, if a family or the community didn't like a verdict, they could push for it to be seen again and like have that decision overruled to a death sentence, like in this case.
It's probably not okay.
It's a whole different world.
Yeah, I think that sounds not good.
Yeah, like this guy, this guy got prison time. They're like, no, we want him dead.
Yeah.
So
like,
you guys
okay,
need to
let's do it
retry
again.
him.
Well, redo.
So philosophically speaking, we could consider this Andrei's second killing because he's directly responsible for this guy being executed.
Ooh, damn, that's deep, Dave.
Right?
That's too deep. We're too fucking drunk for that shit.
Following Yelna's murder, Chikatilo was able to achieve sexual arousal and orgasm only through stabbing women and children to death. He later claimed that the urge to relive the experience had overwhelmed him. Chikatilo did stress initially he had struggled to resist these urges, often cutting short business trips to return home rather than give in to the temptation to search for another victim.
Well, A for effort, I guess. He was giving
He's
it
learning.
a shot.
He's learning. He's trying at least. I have a feeling he fails this test.
He might.
Isn't that how that show goes? Whatever the NCIS fucking goes.
CSI Miami.
We won't be fooled again.
He takes his glasses off.
I have a feeling he will fail this test.
Those are so fun. There's a supercut of those on YouTube. You can watch just like 100 of them in a row. So funny. I will say, clinically speaking, it must be hard. Like if the thing that does it for you is something like this,
Yeah.
Like if you're a pedo or you can only get off by stabbing someone, like how do you move forward in life with that, fighting that urge?
That's a great question.
Like it has to just consume you day in and day out. It's not like
You're
can
thinking about it constantly. You're obsessed with it.
Yeah, right.
You
I
can't.
know, and there's those claims of rehabilitating people with those type of I don't know, like sexual deviant, stuff. But I don't know I don't think that would. I mean, I'm obviously not
A deviant.
No, well, that I'm not a
Allegedly.
deviant. Yeah, I'm also not a doctor, but in my mind, I don't see how that would be possible to completely rehabilitate someone from a fetish like that.
Right. Like if your thing is, you like feet, you can always just go to Pornhub and look at feet videos, right? If your thing is you have to kill someone to get off, you're essentially stuck without following through on that. I don't know. I don't know where that leaves you.
Yeah, because with this girl, his first victim, that's when it really clicked with him that, oh yeah, blood.
Yeah.
There's got to be more
Blood
science out
does
there
it.
though than we're aware of. Like there's got to be some kind of science that says, yeah, here we can rehabilitate them, and here's how.
Yeah, I don't know. I think some people are just broken, and
Well, I think some people sure are. Some
The
people
world
are just criminals, and some people can be rehabilitated.
we'll be right back.
Is there something interfering with your happiness? Something keeping you from achieving your 2020 goals? Let's face it, these are certainly trying times. From being cooped up inside your home to wondering how you're going to pay next month's bills, we're all experiencing some form of stress or strain on our mental health. And for that, BetterHelp is here for us. BetterHelp is an online mental health provider that will assess your needs and match you up with your own licensed professional therapist. The best part? No waiting rooms. That's a pretty big deal if you're as impatient as I am. BetterHelp is a safe and private online environment that will have you communicating with a counselor within the first 24 hours. And once you've begun, you can send your counselor a message at any time, always getting a helpful response in a timely manner. You even have the ability to schedule weekly video or phone sessions, all from the comfort of your very own couch. BetterHelp is available worldwide and has a broad range of expertise available, including licensed professional counselors who specialize in depression, stress, anxiety, relationships, sleeping, trauma, anger, family conflict, LGBT matters, grief, and self-esteem. In fact, so many people have been using BetterHelp that they're currently recruiting additional counselors in all 50 states. Not happy with your counselor? No worries. BetterHelp is committed to facilitating great therapeutic matches and makes it easy and free to change counselors if needed. Remember, everything you share with your BetterHelp counselor is completely confidential. And while it's not a crisis line, it is a convenient, professional, and affordable way to seek the help you deserve. Financial aid is even offered to those who qualify. Want to hear how BetterHelp assisted people just like you? Check out the testimonials posted daily on their site. Look, we here at Necronomipod want you to start living a happier life. So, as a listener, you'll get 10% off your first month by visiting betterhelp.com/necro. Join over 1 million people already taking charge of their mental health. Again, that's BetterHelp, betterhelp.com/necro.
Today's episode of Necronomipod is brought to you by Beardology. There are a lot of imitators out there, but there's only one place I buy my beard oil. Beardology beard oil nourishes your skin and won't leave you with that greasy feel. With over 17 cents available in their extensive product line, I trust my beard to Beardology. You can find Beardology at beardology.co. Use code NECRO15 to receive 15% off your purchase. Beardology. Discover the best way to avoid the shave.
On September 11th, 1981, Chikatilo came across 17-year-old boarding student Larissa Tkachenko standing at a bus stop as he exited the public library in the Rostov city center. According to his confession, Chikatilo lured Larissa to a forest area near Don River with the pretext of drinking vodka and, quote, relaxing. So in Russia at this time, relaxing meant having sex.
Really?
Yeah, there was a common thing where people were like, hey, you want to go relax? And
It's like Netflix and chill. Vodka
Yeah.
and relax. I would like to relax as you eat my penis. My penis tastes very good with the vodka.
You'll never get this. You'll never get that. Oh, very nice. I like your pimples.
when they reached a secluded area, he threw the girl to the ground before tearing off her clothes and attempting to rape her as Larissa fought back against him. When Chikatilo failed to get an erection, he forced mud inside of her mouth to stop her screams before beating and strangling her to death. He had no knife, so Chikatilo mutilated the body with his teeth and a stick. He also tore one nipple from the girl's body with his teeth before loosely covering her body with leaves, branches, and torn pages of newspaper. Larissa's body was found the following day.
This whole thing is because this guy can't get a fucking boner. Just mad at the world.
Yep.
It's awful.
And he also steps it up. Like, he goes from like 0 to 100 in brutality. 9 months after the murder of Larissa, on June 12, 1982, Chikatilo traveled by bus to the Bagayevsky district of Rostov to purchase vegetables. Having to change buses in the village of Donskoy, he decided to continue his trip on foot. Walking away from the bus station, he came across a 13-year-old girl named Lyubov Biryuk, who was walking home from a shopping trip. Once the path both were taking was shielded from the view of potential witnesses by bushes, Chikatilo jumped on the girl, dragged her into the nearby woods, tore off her dress, and killed her by stabbing and slashing her to death as he imitated raping her.
Can I just say that having to travel by multiple buses to buy vegetables just is awful?
Doesn't sound like a great place.
No.
I'd not want to live there.
More perils of communism.
When her body was found on June 27th, the medical examiner discovered the evidence of 22 knife wounds inflicted to the head, neck, chest, and pelvic region. Further wounds found on the skull suggested the killer had attacked the girl from behind with the handle of the blade of his knife. In addition, several cuts were also discovered on the girl's eye sockets.
Mike, do you know what the pelvic region is? Just want to check before we move on.
It's the place between the shoulder blades, right?
Oh, right. You're good.
And these wounds to the eye sockets, as we go through these, it's going to be a big thing that links all of these murders together. This is going to become a running theme with him.
Fucking hate.
What's the deal behind that?
When they get into the investigation, there's like this old Russian, I don't know if it's like a wives' tale or something like that, but when somebody dies, the last thing they see is burnt into their eyes forever, for like eternity and like into the afterlife.
Okay.
So the investigators will start to piece this stuff together and think that maybe he's a like a superstitious person that would believe into some of that old kind of stuff with, trying to gouge out people's eyes after he kills them.
All right. Makes sense. I guess what I would say is that the last thing they'll see is him gouging out their eyes, and they'll see that anyway. So.
Yeah.
Or does
I don't
he
know how
want
that
them
works.
to see that?
Is that what? Yeah.
Maybe he wants that to be the last image.
Following Biryuk's murder, Chikatilo no longer attempted to resist his urges to kill. Between July and September 1982, he killed a further 5 victims between the ages of 9 and 18. He established a pattern of approaching children, runaways, and young women at buses or railway stations, enticing them to nearby forests or secluded areas and killing them, usually by stabbing, slashing, and eviscerating the victim with a knife. Although some victims, in addition to receiving a multitude of knife wounds, were also strangled or beaten to death.
So he had lots of MOs here,
Yep.
depending on the day of the week.
Like we were just talking about the eyes, many of the victims' bodies had evidence of mutilation to the eye sockets. Pathologists concluded these injuries had been caused by a knife, leading investigators to the conclusion that the killer had gouged out the eyes of his victims. Chikatilo's adult female victims were often prostitutes or homeless women who he would lure to excluded areas with the promises of alcohol or money. He would typically attempt to have sex with these victims, but he would usually be unable to keep an erection, and this would send him into a rage, particularly if the woman mocked him. And like we were saying earlier with his MOs, he would only get an orgasm when he stabbed or slashed a victim to death.
I think we should, what if we could hypnotize Mike to have an orgasm like every time he loses a trivia on our bonus shows or something like that?
Wouldn't that be something?
That'd be awesome.
Yeah. If only that fucking witchcraft was real.
Start making the Peter Curtin noise as soon as he loses.
And then I just ejaculate in my pants.
For future live shows, we got to figure something out. We got to get him hypnotized where there's a code word that make him blow a load in his pants. That'd be fantastic. I would love that.
I would take on that challenge. That would be fucking awesome. That would be great.
That should be part of our live show. We should hire
There is.
a hypnotist?
You say Casey Anthony.
hire a hypnotist to bring him along with us.
Oh my God, it'd be fantastic.
Casey Anthony, I'm going to blow a load in my pants.
Have you ever seen like a comedy hypnotist show, like at a comedy club?
No, I don't.
It's a lot of
I don't watch
fun.
that bullshit.
It's
All right.
people do it, man. They're doing all kinds of dumb shit.
So let's bring them on the show,
stage.
and then we'll bring guests on stage, and then they can, pretend to be hypnotized, and then we'll give them a
I'm
beer, and then
telling
go
you.
back to their seats.
I've seen it. It's
No, we're going to hypnotize you at every show.
At every
You're the
show.
guy, yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
Well, all right, we'll see. Okay. I mean, fine, but as long as the hypnotist is okay with it ending with me just kicking him in the dick and be like, "This is fucking fake," and then I fucking Mick Foley, Hell in a Cell, throw him off the stage. If he's okay with that, then fine.
Like, look, there's Shawn Michaels tights.
No. Well, but here's the thing: you don't have to have like a hypnotist for Ian and I to have that conversation for one of us to get off. Like, we'll have a real conversation about that. People fucking love those conversations, and if they don't, fuck them.
Fuck them.
You know why? Because fuck them. That's why. Ian and I appreciate our Shawn Michaels tights.
Oh, we know. That's well documented.
Of his child and adolescent victims, they were both sexes, male and female. Chikatilo would lure these victims to secluded areas using a variety of ways, such as promising them assistance or company, or offering to show them a shortcut, a chance to view rare stamps, films or coins, or with the offer of food or candy. He would usually overpower these victims once they were alone, often tying their hands behind their backs with rope before stuffing mud into the victims' mouths to silence their screams, and then proceed to kill them. After the killing, Chikatilo would make really lazy efforts to hide the body before leaving the crime scene. There's something about stuffing mud into someone's mouth to get them to stop screaming that really creeps me out.
I would agree. That is horrific. Just that suffocating feeling of, oh, yeah, that's awful.
Yeah.
I agree with you.
And especially with this guy, we're talking about more kids than not.
Yeah.
You know. On December 11th, 1982, Chikatilo encountered a 10-year-old girl named Olga Stalmachenik riding a bus to her parents' home and persuaded the child to leave the bus with him. She was last seen by a passenger who reported that a middle-aged man led the girl away firmly by the hand. Chikatilo lured the girl to a cornfield on the outskirts of town, stabbed her over 50 times around the head and body, ripped open her chest, and took out her lower bowel and uterus.
Oh, fuck's sake. Is this guy cannibal at all?
So he would chew on things,
Yeah.
but he wouldn't actually eat them.
All right.
But he did do some, like he would chew on, like let's say the uterus in this situation. By January 1983, 4 victims killed had been linked to the same killer. A Moscow police team headed by Major Mikhail Fedosov was sent to Rostov-on-Don to direct the investigation, which gradually became known among investigators as Operation Forest Path. Fedosov established a team of 10 investigators based in Rostov, charged with solving all 4 cases. In March, Fedosov assigned a newly appointed special forensic analyst, Viktor Burkhoff, to head the investigation.
Have you seen the movie Citizen X about this story?
I have not. I know you told us that was a good
Yeah.
movie. HBO.
HBO movie from the mid-90s.
I might watch it before next week.
I watched it this week again.
Not-
It's pretty good. It's an entertaining movie. The Russian accents are really bad because they're all mostly British actors, and
And they can't act in Britain. Britain can't act.
Like Donald Sutherland's in it, and he does a good one. But a couple of the British guys, like they just trail off into regular British accents. I'm like, what happened to the Russian? It's really bad. It's a good movie though. It kind of goes through the story pretty well, details the investigation stuff. I recommend it.
I also know it's not called Britain. I was just making a joke, just so people know. I think sometimes people confuse me with actual country Mike, so I just wanted to make sure there was a line there that I knew it was.
What are you saying?
I said they have their Britain accents.
Oh, they're Britain accents.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck are you even talking about?
Clearly, you don't listen to me when I speak. I said they have their Britain
Lost me
accent.
for a second.
And then I wanted to clarify that people knew I knew it wasn't actually Britain accents.
I heard you, but then it didn't make sense in my head. I had to come back and clarify.
Sorry.
The following month, Olga's body was found. Burkhoff was summoned to the crime scene where he examined the numerous knife wounds and eviscerations conducted upon the child and the cuts to her eye sockets. Burkhoff later stated that as he noted the cuts on Olga's eye sockets, any doubts about the presence of a serial killer went away. Chikatilo did not kill again until June 1983 when he murdered a 15-year-old Armenian girl named Laura Sarkisian. Her body was found close to an unmarked railway platform near Shakti. By September, he had killed 5 more victims. The amount of bodies found and the similarities between the pattern of wounds inflicted on the victims forced the Soviet authorities to acknowledge that a serial killer was on the loose. On September 6, 1983, the public prosecutor of the USSR formally linked 6 of the murders attributed to the same killer.
That was a big theme in the movie where the government was hesitant to declare this a serial killer because they said, we don't have serial killers in a communist utopia that's the Soviet Union. So people weren't, maybe aware as they should have been that somebody was out there hunting them.
Yeah, and everything described him as like this kindly, older-looking guy,
Yeah,
So no one was afraid of him.
exactly. And what was the other thing I read, which I thought was interesting, is that children were taught, in the communist Soviet Union, that to look up to other parents just like you would your own. So they had no problem going up to an adult stranger in public. So it was easier to use to gain the trust. So I think that was a big part of it too.
Yeah, that's an interesting angle.
Yeah.
This
On
one
why they would just
not
go
have
along
worked
with
out.
it.
It would not have worked out in this situation.
What?
To go up to this guy. Are you not hearing anything I'm saying? Jesus Christ, man. It would not have worked out to go up to this guy in that situation.
Right.
Based on the whole theory you just spouted off about that every adult is your fucking parent, or you should respect them as such.
He's angry now.
I actually can't find where the hell we are in the notes. I lost us
You're
like
showing
three,
at me? You're not
like
even on the right page.
3 paragraphs ago. I can't find us.
Fucking guy.
Ian, you just start talking so I can find us.
But anyway, taught to trust, adults in that way that would, make it easier to kidnap them.
It would certainly make it much easier for this guy.
Wait, what? No, I'm just kidding.
Due to the brutality of the murders and the precision of the eviscerations on the victims' bodies, police theorized that the killings had been conducted by either a group harvesting organs to sell for transplant, the work of a satanic cult, or a mentally ill individual.
Well, they were way off on that one, huh?
Yeah, all but the third one, I guess.
Well,
you could say.
yeah. True. But that's not
Much
the
of
context that they were looking for a mentally ill person in, though.
Right. They're thinking like someone that has been committed to
right.
an asylum or something.
Mm-hmm.
Much of the police effort concentrated on the theory that the killer must be mentally ill, homosexual, or a pedophile, and the alibis of all individuals who had either spent time in psychiatric wards or had been convicted of homosexuality or pedophilia were checked and logged in a card filing system. Registered sex offenders were also investigated, and if their alibi was corroborated, they were eliminated from the inquiry.
Yeah, gay people did not have a great time in the Soviet Union during this period. Or I guess today, as a matter of fact, still to this day. Yeah.
Beginning in September 1983, several young men confessed to the murders, although these individuals were often intellectually disabled youths who admitted to the crimes only under prolonged and often brutal interrogation. 3 known homosexuals and a convicted sex offender committed suicide as a result of the investigators' tactics. As a result of the investigation, more than 1,000 unrelated crimes, including 95 murders, 140 aggravated assaults, and 245 rapes were solved.
There you go.
When they start to do their job,
Yeah.
close out some cases.
So it's like the opposite of what's the opposite of collateral damage? Because collateral good that took place, right?
Right.
As police obtained confessions from suspects, bodies continued to be discovered, proving that the people that were confessing to these crimes were not responsible for them. On October 30th, 1983, the eviscerated body of 19-year-old prostitute named Vera Shevkin was found in Shakti. Shevkin had been killed on October 27th. Although the mutilations inflicted on her body were otherwise characteristic of those found on other victims linked to the unknown murderer, the victim's eyes had not been gouged or otherwise wounded. 2 months later, on December 27th, a 14-year-old schoolboy named Sergei Markov was lured off a train and murdered at a rural bus station. Markov was stabbed over 70 times to his neck and upper torso before being eviscerated.
70 is a big number.
That's a lot.
It's a lot of rage.
It's interesting with Chikatilo. He's like the definition of like a true sadist. Like there's no sexual preference, whether it be male, female, child, adult. It's just the fact of
Doing it.
a violent crime getting him off.
That's a good point. I'm sure studying the psyche of all this is just quite interesting.
It's got to be fascinating.
Yeah.
A little sadistic and terrifying at times, I'm sure.
In January and February of 1984, Chikatilo killed 2 women in Rostov's Aviator Park. On March 24th, he lured a 10-year-old boy named Dmitry Pashnikov away from a stamp kiosk. While walking with the boy, Chikatilo was seen by several witnesses who were able to give investigators a detailed description of the killer. When the boy's body was found 3 days later, police also found a footprint of the killer and both semen and saliva samples on the victim's clothing.
He's not being very careful.
No, absolutely not. He's just
Not at all.
he's never made like a real attempt to hide a body either.
So what is that? Arrogance? Is that stupidity? Or is that braggadocious?
That's a good question.
But they keep finding the bodies. So you'd have to be really stupid to think, oh, they're not going to find them. So is it arrogance or is he showing off?
I guess the physical evidence part, they probably didn't have, even back at that time, even anywhere near the same level of forensic, science that we had today. But the eyewitness stuff, it seemed like you'd be a little more careful.
Yeah. So you don't put as much into the hiding of the bodies as you do just him walking around the...
Yeah. Like just walking around like that sloppy, right?
I would agree.
I think you can make the assumption that they're,
Was he even thinking about any of this, though?
That's true. He's
Was-
just
I mean,
blind rage and
yeah.
had the... Yeah, that's true.
It's interesting.
On May 25th, Chikatilo killed a young woman named Tatiana Petrosyan and her 10-year-old daughter, Svetlana, in a wooded area outside Shakti. Petrosyan had known Chikatilo for several years prior to her murder. By the end of July, he had killed 3 additional young women between the ages of 19 and 21 and a 13-year-old boy.
It's like a mother and daughter at the same time?
Yeah.
And someone that he knew.
In the summer of 1984, Chikatilo was fired from his work as a supply clerk for theft of a roll of linoleum. The accusation had been filed against him the previous February, and he had been asked to resign quietly, but had refused to do so, as he had denied the charges. Chikatilo found another job as a supply clerk in Rostov on August 1st.
Fucking linoleum thief. It's an outrage.
It really is. Like, of all the things you could do,
Yeah.
this is the worst.
Exactly. Should have been killed on the spot.
On August 2nd, Chikatilo killed a 16-year-old girl, Natalia Golosovskaya, in Aviators Park. On August 7th, he lured a 17-year-old girl, Ludmila Alexeyeva, to the bank of the Don River on the pretense of showing her a shortcut to a bus terminal. Ludmila suffered 39 slash wounds to her body before Chikatilo mutilated and disemboweled her, intentionally inflicting wounds he knew would not be immediately fatal. Her body was found in the following morning with her upper lip that had been cut off inside her mouth.
All right. So here's the sadism level going way up.
Yeah, like inflicting wounds that he knows wouldn't kill her.
Yeah, that's,
Hours after her murder, Chikatilo flew out of town on a business trip. By the time he had returned to Rostov on August 15th, he had killed an unidentified young woman and a 10-year-old girl. Within 2 weeks, an 11-year-old boy named Alexander Chepel had been found on the banks of the Don River, strangled and castrated with his eyes gouged out, just yards away from where Ludmila's body had earlier been found. Chikatilo then killed a young librarian, Irina Luchinskaya, in Aviators Park on September 6th.
This motherfucker's ramping up. He's on a warpath.
As they're finding the bodies. So again, like, is he just arrogant? Does he not care? Or is he just dumb?
Yeah, gives no fucks.
On September 13th, 1984, Chikatilo was seen by two undercover detectives attempting to talk to a young woman at the Rostov bus station. The detectives followed him wandering through the city trying to approach young women. Upon Chikatilo's arrival at the city's central market, he was arrested and held. A search of his belongings revealed a knife with an 8-inch blade, several lengths of rope, and a jar of Vaseline. He was also found to be under investigation for minor theft for that linoleum, which gave the investigators the legal right to hold him for a prolonged period of time.
All right, so we finally got this motherfucker. He's locked up.
We'll see you guys next week. Oh, never mind.
Chikatilo's physical description matched the description of the man seen walking alongside Dmitry Pashnikov prior to the boy's murder. A sample of Chikatilo's blood was taken. The results revealed his blood group to be type A, whereas semen samples found on a total of 6 victims murdered by the unknown killer throughout the spring and summer of 1984 have been classified by medical examiners to be type AB. This is an interesting part when we'll get into in part 2, that there is something with his blood that is very rare that allows him to continue, and we'll get into that in part 2.
Wait a minute. You're telling me there's a second part to this episode?
Aghast.
Motherfucker, we're not finishing the story tonight? Goddamn, pal.
Chikatilo's name was added to the card index files used by investigators. However, the results of his blood type analysis largely discounted him as being the unknown killer.
No, they had him.
Yep.
God.
That's actually very interesting, and that's one of Ian's best teasers, because obviously I don't know the story, but that whole blood type thing is pretty fascinating.
It is.
I want to hear
quite
more.
Interesting.
I want to hear more about that
Yeah.
next week. That's not even me selling it. I legit want to hear more. Can't wait till he sends me the notes.
Maybe you'll show up. That'll be great.
Yeah, probably won't.
Yeah, it makes him, like, at least for this time with DNA and things like that, like the perfect predator.
So he was revealed to be a blood type A, but they believe the killer is a blood type AB.
The semen.
The semen. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And then there's a little twist, and we'll talk about that next week.
Thanks for the recap.
I just wanted to I wanted to make it clear. I wanted to make it clear.
Chikatilo was found guilty of theft of property from his previous employer and sentenced to 1 year in prison, but was freed on December 12th, 1984, after serving 3 months.
He's out on the prowl again.
Yep.
They had this motherfucker.
On October 8th, 1984, the head of the Russian Public Prosecutor's Office formally linked 23 of Chikatilo's murders into one case and dropped all charges against the mentally handicapped youths who had previously confessed to the murders. Upon his release from prison in 1984, Chikatilo found new work at a locomotive factory and kept a low profile. He did not kill again until August 1st, 1985, when on a business trip to Moscow, he encountered an 18-year-old woman named Natalia Poklistova at a railway platform. Natalia was lured into an area of woods where she was bound, stabbed 38 times, and then strangled to death.
I was a freshman in high school in August of 1985. What were you guys up to?
Swimming my dad's dick.
My dad's dick.
Just hanging out in there.
Yeah, just swimming around.
Yeah, and one of those balls, but, waiting to be in that class, just ready to go.
Waiting to be shot into your mom.
I was there, ready to go.
Yeah, I was doing the same thing.
Meanwhile, Dave's smoking doobies, listening to Slayer.
That's what Dave was doing.
Probably banging our moms. Who knows what was going on back then? Wouldn't that be the ultimate Necronomicon story? Dave's one of our dads.
Oh my goodness.
Based on the hypothesis that the killer had traveled from the Rostov blast to Moscow via air, investigators checked all Aero flight records of passengers who had commuted between Moscow and the Rostov blast between late July and early August. On this occasion, however, Chikatilo had traveled to Moscow by train, so no documentation existed for investigators to research. 4 weeks later, on August 27th, Chikatilo killed another young woman, Irina Gulieva, in Shakhty. As had been the case with previous victims, the wounds inflicted on the victim linked her murder to the hunt for the serial killer.
Do you think he was rubbing up on people on that train? Oh, Muscusi.
We can only hope.
In November 1985, a special prosecutor, Esa Kostoyev, was appointed to supervise the investigation, which had by this stage expanded to include 15 prosecutors and 29 detectives assigned to work exclusively on the manhunt. The known murders linked to the manhunt were carefully reinvestigated, and police began another round of questioning of known sex offenders and homosexuals.
Come on, cops. You're looking in the wrong place.
Fucking commies, man.
Right?
The whole gay thing in Russia and in the Soviet Union, it's so ridiculous.
It still is, yeah.
I know, to be labeled as a potential criminal just based on your sexual orientation like that is outrageous. The following month, the police resumed the patrolling of railway stations around Rostov, and plainclothed female officers were ordered to loiter around bus and train stations. At the request of Viktor Burkov, police also took the step of consulting a psychiatrist, Dr. Alexander Bukhanovsky, which was the first such consultation in a serial killer investigation in the Soviet Union. All crime scene and medical examiners' reports were made available to Bukhanovsky upon the understanding he would produce a psychological profile of the unknown murderer for investigators. Bukhanovsky's 65-page psychological profile described the killer as a reclusive man aged between 45 and 50 years old who had endured a painful and isolated childhood and who was incapable of flirting or courtship with a woman. This individual was of average intelligence, likely to be married and to have fathered children, but also a sadist who suffered from impotence and could achieve sexual arousal only by seeing his victim suffer. The murders themselves were an analog to the sexual intercourse this individual was incapable of performing, and his knife became the substitute for a penis which failed to function normally. Because many of his killings had occurred on weekdays near mass transport hubs and across the entire Rostov Oblast, Bukhanovsky also argued the killer's work required him to travel regularly, and based on the actual days of the week when killings had occurred, the killer was most likely tied to a production schedule.
I mean, spot on.
This
right?
guy's fucking good.
Yeah.
This is like the Russian super cop, right?
That's almost 100% accurate.
I ask this all the time. Ian, who was our super cop with fucking, what was it, Richard Chase?
Ray Biondi.
Yeah. Well, this is their fucking super cop.
Well, this guy's the Russian fucking John Douglas with these psychological profiles.
That was spot on.
It's true.
You couldn't even he couldn't get more spot on than that.
Yep. Amazing.
Pretty good.
Chikatilo followed the investigation carefully, reading newspaper reports about the manhunt for the killer, which had begun to appear in the news media. He was able to keep his urges to murder under control for about a year, but he still had 20 more victims left to kill, and that is where we will pick back up on part 2.
20 more. God
Yep.
damn. These guys love reading their own press clippings, don't they?
Yeah.
Like BTK fucking commenting on him, the police.
This guy's very similar to BTK.
He seems to be, right?
And insufferable. I mean, he's described as just like this, like personally know him, like kind of the same type of person as BTK, like this insufferable piece of shit, just the dry personality. Nobody fucking liked him.
Yep.
Stickler for rules and shit at his job. Just, yeah, he has a lot of similarities.
Interesting.
Okay.
That's,
Ian, you got anything else to wrap up on part 1 of this this guy? You got anything else?
This flaccid fable?
Yeah, this flaccid fable. You got anything else?
No, I don't think so. I think the most interesting part of this, doing the outline, was Bukowski's profile of him, because
Pretty impressive.
that's the most impressive one of any serial killer I've read about. Like usually there's like, okay, yeah,
agree.
that's really accurate. But this one was like from top to bottom was spot
He
on.
nailed
Can
them.
you was this published? Is his profile public record? I guess is my question.
I mean now it is like
Now
it's been
like I was just wondering, like, is there any bit of like just people manipulating it to make it look better than it was
Oh, that's a good question.
because of the communist regime and
Oh,
wanting to
what?
make someone look spectacular? Because this is almost too perfect. Like this is Tom Brady, Bill Belichick, perfect season, perfect.
Like they wrote it after they
Right.
Yeah.
Of course, Tom Brady didn't, but of course.
Tom Brady.
just deflated the
So-
footballs.
I don't know. That was just my only thought. Was it like are they stealing a win here or what?
It's a good question.
Yeah, it's interesting. I'll look into that for part 2.
Just thoughts to think about. That was my only thought. Ian, you had no other thoughts for this part 1?
Nope.
Dave, what do you got? Anything else for this one?
No,
It's a wild tale.
It is. It's pretty sadistic. The whole eyes thing, I find interesting. Gouging out the eyes.
The eyes thing is weird for me, and I try not to dive into it too much because anytime someone starts talking about like something happening to eyes, my eyes start watering. If someone says they got punched in the eye or their eyes swelled up because of an allergy, my eyes, like I'm very sensitive when it comes to eyes. It's the only thing I can't really take. I don't know.
Maybe we'll hypnotize you when you see someone's red eye. That'll do it.
So I'll probably throw up or something. I don't know. I'm also very weak. Are you guys weak to onions being cut? Like I do cry
Not
when there's
really,
onions
no.
being cut in the room. My eyes cry. Yeah.
You know what I would like to see him watch, Dave?
What?
No, I'm not. Now I'm not going to watch it. Of course, getting all cryptic about it. You know what I'd like to see him watch, Dave?
Oberyn get killed in Game of Thrones.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah, probably.
You'd like that.
Yeah, I'm sure I wouldn't. What I also
thumb action.
hate the finale
Yeah.
for the last show, like you guys all did or other people did.
Maybe.
Anyways.
Oh, what the season finale for Game of Thrones?
Well, the series, yeah, everyone like that's like one of the most controversial ones, right? Like, there's people are so split on whether or not it was
sure,
good.
Sure.
Yeah, I liked it. So I know I'm a minority in that, but yeah, I liked it.
I almost want to watch the whole series just to see where I stand on the finale.
Do it.
Because people are so split on
I triple
it.
dog dare you to
People
do it.
are so split on it, though. Well, I don't want to see any fucking eye poking, man.
Oh, before it was all the penises. Now it's the eye.
Well, I don't want to
poking.
see that either. I'll skip season 1. Can I skip to season 2? Can I just catch up from there?
No.
Well, fuck it. It's not going to happen, folks. Don't
I go
get your
back
hopes.
and forth with that final season. I don't know.
That's the season. The finale is what people talk about.
Well, it's the
It's all connected?
Yeah.
Okay.
so it was a little lazy. I thought the writing was lazy.
You
I'll
accept
say
it, but
that.
it was lazy.
It was okay. I didn't hate it. It was
Could have been
It was
better.
a little lazy. Could have been a little better
right.
storytelling.
Okay.
That's what happens when fucking Martin takes 10 years to write a goddamn book.
Yeah, sure.
At the same time, too, you're talking about one of like the biggest shows of all time, right? Like it's one of the people love that show. You're not going to win no matter what you do.
There was just some glaring, I don't know. Like the whole thing with Arya, she spent the whole arc of the show trying to get to Cersei, and then she finally gets there, and the guy's like, "Hey, you better turn around and leave." She's like, "Oh, okay."
People who don't watch the show, just go ahead and tune out for right now. They're going to talk about
It just didn't make any sense. Like, and then
Yeah. I mean, I understand what you're saying though. Like they make a whole
Yeah.
arc, and then she's just like,
and
no.
then Cersei and Jamie just standing there under the, and the boulders fall on them. Like, 2 feet over, there were no boulders. It was just some of it was just a little silly. I don't.
Do
like
you think
silliness.
shows are better when they don't close every story? They just kind of leave it open ended.
Sometimes?
Because I actually think that's probably when you're better off. Like, just leave it a little bit more open-ended, and then everyone can think their own little thing. I think of Californication. He gets on a plane with Karen, and then that's it. They're going to their daughter's wedding. You don't know what's going to happen. Nothing really finalized or closed up.
Yeah.
And then it was a fantastic ending.
Yeah, it was fine.
And then you think of like Seinfeld, like they go to jail.
It was terrible.
It's not good.
Not good at all.
You'd ask Larry David, though. It was a great ending. But like
just
when you
depends.
finalize shows, you are finalizing them, and then it's very like black or white. You like it or you don't. I think when you leave shows open ended, it's better for people because then they can come up with their own conclusions.
Sometimes.
That's my thought. Of
I agree
course,
with
of
you
course,
sometimes.
of course. With shows, it's different. I guess.
I think American audiences are conditioned to happy endings. They always need things wrapped up neatly and happy endings. And like, just if you watch a lot of foreign films, it's just not like that. They don't. Everything's not geared towards a happy ending at the end. You know?
I'm not even saying a happy ending though. Like I'm just saying like an open-ended ending.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
Things don't always need to be tied up in a bow.
Like, the beautiful wedding and you know butterflies and rainbows.
I agree with that.
Yeah,
it's unrealistic and it makes things silly sometimes.
That's why I don't understand everybody being so upset by how Daenerys turns out. Great. She didn't turn into a good guy. She was talking shit, saying potential off the rails things since the first season.
I didn't. Yeah, I didn't dislike that part as much as some other things.
I mean, the show's been out for how long? You guys can talk about it. Like it's okay. No spoiler alerts. Talk about it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, you were just saying like off the rails and starts torturing people.
I didn't know if Dave was saying that like hint, like he didn't want to get into it, what he hated, or he just didn't want to get into it. I mean, at this point, if you haven't watched it, you haven't watched it.
Yeah.
I always root for the bad guys and everything. So when she went off the rails and started torching everybody with the fucking dragon, I loved every second of it.
I don't disagree with that because Cersei was my absolute favorite on the show, and I was rooting for her to win all of it and kill everyone. And so when she died, I was a little disappointed because she was the absolute best part of that show. So yeah, I'm with you.
I did not expect to have this Game of Thrones chat at the end of the episode.
See, where did that come from?
No,
it's been a while since we talked about it.
Yeah. Well, the show's been over for how long? I mean, come on.
A few years.
Move on, folks. Says the guy who brings up The Office every other episode.
Good point.
All right. Patreon shout-outs. This looks like an easier list. Hopefully I get through these names without butchering them. I don't want to fuck up again.
Tom Jones.
Yeah, I don't want to...
Fred Smith. No?
Tell you what. Well, not that easy.
Oh, okay.
Anyways, we got some new patrons we want to shout out. Thank you very much to Stacy Becker, Danielle Wilson, Lindsay, Hannah Lacombe, Janine Clark, George Homich, Eric Cunningham, Chris Thompson, Ryan Parlich, Brian Stanford, Joshua Kiesecker, and Chelsea Reckers. Thank you guys very much. We appreciate your support. We are at patreon.com/Necronomipod. Ian, what shout out you got for us? This whole fucking time you could have been pulling them up.
He's like, oh, I didn't know we were doing this tonight.
I didn't know we were going to end the show with you asking me what shout outs we had.
For iTunes, I just have one. For Patience, Ali Sabeth, thank you for the awesome review.
Boom.
One. I think we need some more reviews than that. What the hell's going on out there?
People, get on iTunes.
Come on, get on there and write some reviews.
Until we switch to Spotify, and then we don't give a shit.
Then fuck them, right?
Dave, you got any last shout outs?
Why treat iTunes like this? Why? Because fuck them, that's why.
They really have done us no favors, and they're so fucking corrupt with their fucking lists that it's ridiculous. You pay to be on there. Apparently.
I have nothing. I have nothing to note.
All right. Nothing of note. Well, we'll finish this fantastic tale next week. We are on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube at Necronomipod. Check us out. Give us a follow. And that's it. See you next week.
All right. You guys ready for a cool down beer?
Cheers.